This is USVI News, your Virgin Islands connection.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for USVI News. I'm Emily Matson. Tropical storm Fiona continues to move westward as tropical storm conditions are now forecast to start by Saturday. According to the NOAA National Weather Service, the main concern for Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands continues to be rain this weekend. 6 to 10 inches of rain expected for parts of Puerto Rico, with up to 2 to 6 inches in the VI. Strong winds are also likely, mostly in and around shower activity. And Joey Stevens will have the very latest details on this storm and his full weather forecast coming up in just a bit. The VI legislature has passed a bill to have Virgin Islands and Caribbean history taught in grades kindergarten through 12th. While VI history is currently taught in elementary and secondary schools, this bill would ensure all public school students in grades K through 12 are taught their Virgin Islands history as well as Caribbean history to support their social, political, and psychological development. Senator Genevieve Whittaker sponsored the bill, but the Education Commissioner said it wasn't necessary as they will integrate VI and Caribbean history into the curriculum without the need of a new law. The bill's been forwarded to the Committee of Rules and Judiciary for further consideration. National basketball superstar and VI treasure Aaliyah Boston is lending her voice to the territory, hoping her notoriety and reputation will provide a convincing voice to help save lives on area roadways.
Aaliyah Boston is shooting for traffic safety, joining forces with the Virgin Islands Police Department and the Office of Highway Safety to encourage safe traffic behaviors on roads throughout the territory. The traffic safety campaign is comprised of 4 audio and video ads targeting impaired driving, distracted driving, occupant protection like seatbelt and child car safety seat usage, and speeding. VIPD Commissioner Ray Martinez says they're excited to partner with Ms. Boston to address traffic safety because it's a real problem with too many avoidable crashes, injuries, and fatalities in the territory. Let's take a look at the latest statistics. According to the Virgin Islands Police Department, in 2021, there were more than 4,200 crashes, which is about 12 crashes a day, which resulted in more than 340 injuries requiring medical care and 11 fatalities. In 100 of the crashes, the motorists were driving too fast for road conditions, and 72 crashes involved impaired drivers. There were 340 crashes reported which involved unrestrained occupants, causing moderate to serious injuries for 174 of them. And with cell phone use becoming more pervasive behind the wheel, Commissioner Martinez says many crashes result from motorists driving while distracted. Boston's hoping her message will shift drivers' bad habits to create safer roads for everyone, and is also hoping her voice might even save a life.
A woman wanted for allegedly defrauding an elderly man from St. Croix out of tens of thousands of dollars has been extradited to the VI to face charges. 52-year-old Lisette Algarin Felix was arrested at her home in Florida last month, and last week DOJ agents brought her back to face the charges against her. Between February and May of 2019, investigators with the Attorney General's office say she, along with her brother Ricardo Algarin, came up with a scheme and bilked an elderly man out of more than $70,000. The victim suffered from many ailments and eventually passed away on November 6th of 2019. We want to send a big congratulations to the Barefoot Buddha's chef for winning second place at the National Chicken Wing Championship in Buffalo, New York. Take a look. This is video from the King of the Wing contest at Magens Bay earlier this year, an event that Chef Corey Baker of the Barefoot Buddha restaurant won. And that earned her a spot to represent the Virgin Islands at the 20th annual national competition, which took place over Labor Day weekend in Buffalo. She presented several island-inspired wing sauces and won the second-place trophy for Media Best in Show. Big congratulations to the Barefoot Buddha. By the way, the 12th annual King of the Wing contest is set for June 10th of next year. Social Security checks could see the biggest bump in 4 decades. Recipients could get an almost 9% increase thanks to inflation as a cost of living adjustment. The 2023 checks will be the biggest boost since 1982, which will amount to an extra $144 a month for the average retiree. Social Security checks increased only 5.9% last October, failing to keep up with about 9% inflation. And as we've been reporting, the latest inflation data showed price increases have slowed slightly, but confirmed what so many Americans already know. The cost of just about everything remains stubbornly high. So here are some tips on how you can save.
Stubbornly high prices are weighing on Americans.
It's not just food, it's everything.
According to the newest government data, overall consumer prices increased at a faster pace than anticipated, up 8.3% compared to last year. That's despite recent relief at the pump, with gas prices falling more than 90 days in a row. The national average for a gallon of gas is now $3.70, dropping $1.31 from June's record high of just over $5. But for other everyday necessities, bills are still sky high. Electricity up 15.8%, rent rising 6.7%, and groceries increasing 13.5%. Food inflation reaching a 40-year high, sending more Americans to search for help at food banks.
I've noticed that our lines have gotten longer and longer, just people who need food.
Filling your pantry is taking a bigger bite out of Americans' wallets.
Having that rice and bean option is going to be really budget friendly for you. We're just going to mix this all together.
Erin Chase shares tips on how to create budget-saving meals online.
Really focus on the meat and produce that's on sale.
The $5 Dinners mom saying it's key to be creative with what's already in your pantry, research what's on sale, and make a shopping list before heading to the grocery store. Outside of the essentials, financial experts say it's still important to plan ahead for extras like vacations, holiday gifts, or even dinners out with friends.
You should budget for the things that you value and then start making a plan for it now.
Cindy Suniga Sanchez posts ways to execute those plans to her Instagram Zero-Based Budget. She says now is the time to start an emergency fund, prioritize paying off high-interest debt like credit cards, and make budgeting a habit.
It's a habit that you can start small, but it is important to start now so that you can step into whatever period we're going to experience with more confidence and ease.
And the new consumer data out this week shows food prices rose 11.4% over the past year, the biggest increase since 1979. And economists say it's not just because of inflation. Food prices are also affected by global events like the war in Ukraine, which affects the costs of wheat and other things we buy, as well as the effects of natural disasters like droughts and the bird flu, which affected many birds in the nation. We have the latest now on the death of Queen Elizabeth II as the country says farewell to their queen. Long lines stretch through central London as thousands wait for a chance to say one final goodbye to Queen Elizabeth II. It's a very powerful display as tens of thousands of people have lined up, more than 5 miles long, of people waiting about 8 hours on average to spend just a few seconds in the presence of the Queen in the crown at her coffin. Mourners will continue to file through Westminster Hall through early Monday morning ahead of Monday's state funeral. And many say they feel compelled to be there because she was there for them for more than 70 years, the only monarch who most of them have ever known. Once the mourners step inside Westminster Hall, there's an overwhelming power, they say, silence as many pause and bow at Queen Elizabeth's coffin. And as the UK says goodbye to its queen, it's welcoming a new monarch, of course, King Charles III. Our USVI News' Kristen Allen spoke with a British native and Canadian to get their thoughts on the new king's reign.
There's optimism and concern.
Mixed emotions among local Brits and former residents of the British Commonwealth as King Charles III ascends the throne and prepares for his coronation.
Bless His Majesty with long and happy years to reign over us.
My perspective of Charles comes from, having grown up in the 80s and 90s when it was scandal and then tragedy.
The now King Charles married Lady Diana Spencer in 1981, their marriage ending in divorce in 1996 after Charles's phone conversations with Camilla Parker Bowles, the now Queen consort, leaked. Princess Diana died in a car crash just 1 year later. Scandal aside, the people I spoke to say they do think Charles is ready to take the throne, but the concern is less to do with his personal life and more to do with his age.
He's 73 years old. You know, she took this monarchy on when she in the year 1952. He's doing it in his 74th year. So I think the concerns is that a good year to start trying to follow in the footsteps of your mum, the greatest person ever lived.
While the king's time on the throne will be much shorter than his mother's, Charles is sure to focus on big issues he's passionate about as head of state.
He is passionate about the environment, and moving forward as we continue in the 21st century, if we're going to have somebody who is in that kind of position of authority, we need someone who's thinking about these modern issues, about the issues that face the whole world.
He's had a lot more years to prepare for today and tomorrow and the future and Britain's role in this world, sure.
Kristen Allen, USVI News.